Good morning, everybody. How you doing? I'm getting ready to get on the road. We've got one hell of a haul. It's gonna take not quite 4 days. Not quite 4 days, but we got 2,000 miles to bang out. A long ways to go. So just getting ready to get started on that. And you know, honestly, with this job, it's kind of difficult to come up with new things to talk about, having to do with trucking and things like that. That's not the only thing on my mind, but that's why people tune in, right? We did that live stream last night where we discussed music and politics and guns, and that was fun for everybody that stuck around and hung out. Obviously those kind of discussions always can get you into some hot water, but it was a good time. I definitely want to thank everyone that hung out and watched that, and hopefully didn't get angry. It seemed like we had a pretty civil conversation, but it's hard to tell when, you know, I'm the only one talking. Of course, it's hard to tell, but it was a good time. It was a good time. So yeah, this job is I definitely wouldn't say boring. It's not that, but it's it doesn't leave a whole lot of stories without like telling the, you know, inner workings of how a company is working, and that's kind of difficult to dance around that all the time. So I just saw a guy next to me. I'm getting ready to leave this truck stop, and I saw him pull in last night, and his wife and his kids came to pick him up at the truck stop, and his kids were standing across the lot, just huge smiles, watching their dad get out of the truck. And it was kind of for lack of a better term, kind of a touching moment to watch that. And I almost said something to the guy, you know, something to the effect of, hey, that's why we do it right there, right? And then I just kind of let him be and enjoy his moment with his family. And he's here right now getting ready to go. And it's an interesting thing to watch, is us as truckers, and you know, that family dynamic when we get to see it and all that. He just gave me a salute as he's pulling out. A guy looks like he's probably older than me. He just looks like it. But he's driving a Swift truck, and I'm not saying that people don't like go have long careers at Swift. I'm not saying that at all. But it's safe to guess that he may be a new driver also. The way his family was just so excited to see him pull up in his shiny truck, and looks like he only got to stay the night because he's heading out. He's getting on the road. But it made me think, you know, about why we do this. We get out here and we get into trucking, and the time it takes away from our family. And you know, here on YouTube I've been given a lot of shit because I drive a truck and I don't see my family very often, and I'm far from the only truck driver that has a family. There's a lot of people out here that have families, and for me, I'm able to separate that for the most part. I'm not right now, is the point. I saw that guy and his family was so excited to see him, and I'm like, man, it's been a while. It's been a while. So most of the time I'm able to keep those things separate and not really think about it. But after seeing that moment, I'm definitely going to probably spend a lot of the day thinking about that, and definitely not reevaluating. I'm not gonna be like, oh, what am I doing with my life? Because I've tried other things in life, guys, and I just can't seem to make anything else stick like I do with driving a truck. And I guess that's just kind of the reality of it. But I don't know where I'm really going with this. Just trying to get woke up and get ready for the day. But I guess all I'm trying to say at this very moment is most of the time I'm able to separate those two things. And obviously I talk to my family regularly, and I make sure there's money going home, of course, so that they can survive, so they can make it. And it's not often that I really stop to think about, oh man, I haven't seen my family for a while and I miss them and I'd love to see them. And obviously that's just not an option right now. That's not an option. So that is one of the things, I guess, that comes with this entertainment trucking. The tour's not over, baby. Tour's not over, and there's nothing I can do about it. So we're on it. We're on this ride, and that's all we can do. You know, when you're hauling general freight, at least you can put in that home time request and say, hey, I'm ready to stop by the house, and they can start working on it. With this, I guess that's a major con, is you're expected to be on that tour for the entirety of the tour. And you know, if it works out that you're passing by the house and you have time to stop, you can definitely do that. But today I'm feeling it after seeing that that display from that man and his family. Today I will probably spend a lot of time reflecting on the fact that I very rarely see mine. But then you remember why you do what you do, you know. I talked in the last video about how I'm just getting into the entertainment side of trucking. Sorry, I started sipping on a Dr. Pepper already. I'm all burpy now. But I started talking about, you know, I'm on the low end of the pay in entertainment trucking because I'm just getting into it. And if I stick with it for a little while, then I could easily give myself a $30,000 a year raise, right? Well, that's a huge amount of money. And that's what I did by getting back in a truck also, because I was, you know, making like 40 grand, maybe 45 grand if I was lucky, doing tech support. Then I get out in a truck, take that to 70 grand, and I mean, it was the only reasonable thing to do that I can think of. The only reasonable thing. So here I am in the truck, and I'm getting ready to hit the road, so I'll cut this short here. But like I said, normally I'm able to separate the two. I don't really think much about it. But today, yeah, I'm going to reflect on that and think about that. But good for that guy for getting to stop and see his family. They looked very proud of him, his wife and his kids. And he got back in his truck, and he had a big smile on his face. I would wager that he is probably a new driver, just went solo, just by the whole attitude of everyone involved. And he had that smile on his face as he rolled away from his family. And if I were to guess, I'd say because he knew that he had maybe finally found a spot in life where he can provide for that family in a way that he sees fit, instead of struggling all the time. So good for him. It may all be a story I made up in my head about what's going on in his own family, but that's just what it felt like to me as I watched it happen. And yeah, good for him getting out here and doing what he feels necessary to take care of his family. And that big smile on his face as he drove away, I'm sure he felt some pain in his heart as he drove away too. I remember those early days of trucking when I would be like, fuck, here we go again. But I'm sure he felt some pain, but that smile spoke volumes. He said, I'm about to get out there and I'm about to get this check, and I'm gonna make sure that wife and those kids are taken care of. Good for him. Talk to you guys soon. Right. Hello, everybody. How are you? We are doing some trucking today, boy. We're getting it done. We're getting it done. I am on my 30-minute break, and I got about 3 hours more that I can drive. I think three and a half, somewhere in there. But I'll probably stop short of that because it's starting to get later in the day. But we are getting those miles banged out and made it back to the interstate so we can, you know, let this sucker run down the road now. So that's good. That's awesome. And I was starving. Oh my God, I was so hungry. I had this quesadilla I got at a restaurant last night in the refrigerator, and I got into that. And I feel a lot better. And got into one of those cookies that I had here. You know, the ones I was mad about with raisins? This one was actually chocolate chip. And weird thing, I don't really eat much chocolate at all. My kids always give me shit about it because I very rarely will eat chocolate because it makes me sweaty. Like I'm sweating right here. From eating the chocolate chip cookie, but it was fucking delicious. Does anyone else do that? Do you get sweaty from eating chocolate, or is there something wrong with me? I've always been like that. Always been like that, but on the rare occasion that I eat some chocolate, my kids give me shit, and they're like, oh, you say you never eat chocolate. Shut up. Shut up! Check this out. You gotta look at this. I needed a new hat. I was getting tired of... I guess after a while, I don't really like the cat hat anymore. So I figured, since I'm, you know, running in convoys now and using the CB and guiding people into their backing spot, bam, baby. super trucking. So we got to get this bill bent, you know, get that sorted out and get this sticker taken off. Because what kind of dork do you think I am? You think I'm the guy that walks around with a flat bill and the sticker still on the shit? Come on now. You guys must think more highly of me than that to think that I would be that guy. So we're going to peel that sticker off right now. Bam, it's gone. It's gone, baby. Start shaping that bill right now. Because, hey, if I'm going to be out here super trucking, I need the Superman hat to go with it. And I don't even like DC Comics, but I figured, hey, it's appropriate. I run in convoys now. I talk on the CB. Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah, baby. Yep. I don't know what's next in my super trucking journey. Telling you guys I backed up more miles than you've gone going forward, maybe. Maybe I'll start doing that. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but you'll know when we get there. You'll know when we get there. Anyways, back to the topic from earlier. I still thought that was super cool. The thing I got to see today with the Swift drivers family, meeting them at the truck stop last night. And I mean, those kids had the biggest damn smiles on their face. It was just such a cool thing to see. For me, I've been trucking for so long now that my family's just kind of used to it. It's like, get your shit in the car, let's go. Let's go, redneck, get your shit in the car. I'm tired, I want to go home. Because I've been at it for a while, you know. And my youngest kids, they're teenagers. So when I get in the car, they're like faces buried in their phones. And sometimes it takes them a while to notice I'm there. So, but I remember those days, man. I remember when... you would get home and you'd see your kids just smiling and happy to see you. And like I say, it's not that mine aren't happy to see me. It's just they're so used to it. This is what I do. That, you know, they'll see me when they see me, and they kind of just grew up that way, for lack of a better term, I guess. I remember one time, I've told this story before. My oldest of my younger two daughters. Well, my youngest daughter, one time I was in town and I was doing something, and they asked if they could ride with me in the truck because I had to take the truck somewhere. And I only felt comfortable taking one, I guess. I could have taken them both, set one back here on the sleeper, but I'm like, you know, I only got the one other seat and one seat belt. So I took my youngest daughter that time just across town with me, and she thought it was cool, right? But I was driving an automatic truck then, and she just like thought it was cool. But like, that was sort of the extent of it. And then my older of my younger two daughters, because my other kids are grown, she went with me after that. When I bought the International, and that was a 10-speed, and I had to take it to the mechanic shop, so she rode with me to do that. Excuse me. And you know, I was getting through the gears and all that, and there was a part where we came up to road construction. They had a lane closed on the road I was turning onto, and she was like looking at it. She's like, how are you going to do that? And I'm like, watch me work, God damn it. And while I'm getting through the gears and making it around that corner and getting around those cones without taking any of them out, she's like up sitting in the seat, looking in the mirrors, looking around, you know. And then when we made it through, you know, I looked over at her and she just had the biggest smile on her face. She was so damn proud of me for getting that done. And it was a very cool moment. And I think about that frequently. I really do. So actually, I got a little teary-eyed while I was telling you guys that story. No shit. So hopefully I'll stop crying on my video. Stop being a little bitch. But yeah, it was kind of a really cool moment, and I enjoyed it. But so, like I said earlier in the video, I have gotten a lot of shit from people for being a truck driver, for being an over-the-road truck driver, and my family's at home. And I've really tried to like fit into other things and do other things, you know, whether that be doing like the IT stuff, the tech support type of stuff, and even doing local truck driving. And I can't get my brain to work with these things. And like, I fall into a deep depression when I do things like that. It's not fun. It's not good at all. Right before the old channel blew up, actually, I was doing, was anyone around that's watching this? Was anyone around then? I was doing those videos I would record while I was driving overnight. I was doing the local job, and you could barely see me in the picture. It was very dark, and those were some of like my angriest videos I think that I've ever made. I was just so frustrated with everything, and they were mean. They were very mean-spirited videos, and I was just a very angry person at the time. And so for the road works for me. But I guess this video isn't really all about me. Here's to the rest of you too, that are out here on the road, that are making this decision to be an over-the-road truck driver while there's people there that care about you, and you care about them, and you get out here and you still get the shit done. It's a fucking hard way to make a living. It's a very challenging thing to do. And like I was saying earlier in the video, you almost have to separate those things. Like when you're doing the truck thing, you have to almost be like, hey, you know, I still talk to my wife every day on the phone, but you kind of have to like just say, hey, we're out here to do a job. That's all we got time for. And kind of block that part out of your brain that's like, man, I just want to go home. And it takes a very, very special person to do like the over-the-road trucking where you're gone for a long time, especially when you've got a family. Now, a lot of people have looked at that as a negative thing. I mean, I've been accused of abandoning my family on a number of occasions, and obviously that couldn't be further from the truth. I obviously care very much about providing for them, and for me to do that, I have to find something that I can do long term to make sure that they continue to be provided for. Now, I know I've switched around jobs over the road quite a bit, but that's for me, that's all about finding what actually works for me. And sometimes things only work for a little while, you know, that's how it goes. But it just takes a certain kind of fucking person to get out here and do that. And, you know, we all think about when we get to go home and when we get to see the people that we care about. And all that's fine and good, but it really, really, I felt a certain kind of way watching how happy this guy was to see his kids and how happy they were to see him. And the look of excitement, I'm guessing that he was probably a new truck driver just by his total, like, complete mannerisms and everything. The excited look on his face as he drove that truck out of the truck stop to get back on the road and go provide, or, you know, or just get back out there on the open road. It was a really cool thing to see. And sometimes I feel like that energy left me a long time ago, where I'm like, hey, it's just my job. I mean, there's nothing cool about it. Now it's cool. Like, the whole concert tour thing is pretty fucking cool. Exhausting, but definitely an interesting dynamic. Definitely an interesting take on trucking. But I couldn't help but feel good for the guy. I don't know his backstory. I don't know anything about him, but I couldn't help but, like, be proud of him for just the way he was handling this whole situation. It was very cool. And his kids watched him drive away, and they're waving bye, Dad, you know, as he got that rig back on the road and went to work. And there's very few people that understand that, you know, what it's like to live this sort of lifestyle where you're always gone. I know there's other jobs where you would live this way also, but very few people that actually understand that, and even fewer people that can do it for a long time and just keep going. And you guys know me, I don't believe in loyalty to companies or anything like that, but there is something to be said about somebody that's done this over-the-road stuff for a long time. I'm not patting me on the back. I was fucking proud of the guy. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a cool thing to be able to witness, you know. So good for him. Good for everybody that's getting out there and doing this. And I remember years ago, before I got my CDL, you know, I watched some truckers on YouTube, and it just kind of blew my mind how they would get out on the road and they'd be in like a strange place and they would be perfectly fine with it. Because younger me, I'm sorry, the microwave door is rattling on me. Damn it. Younger me would freak out at the thought of being away from home. You know, I didn't travel. I remember when I was in my early 20s, I had moved 500 miles away from home, and I freaked the fuck out. That shit scared the hell out of me, you know. So I was always so impressed at watching truckers just act like it was completely normal to be out on the road. And I stopped here and I went to this city and I did that. And to me, the idea was very intimidating when I first got into trucking. And it's such a normal thing now that I don't even really think about it. I sleep good. I don't ever concern myself with where I'm at or where I'm going and how I'm going to get there. I just go get it done, you know. So, yeah, you know, cheers to that guy, and cheers to everybody else that's trying to do this, trying to learn it, just getting into it. It's a tough time to be getting into it because the market's complete shit, and trucking companies are really having some issues out there. But hey, you know what? If you're out here and you're giving it a shot, hope you have a long career, and make sure you take that time when you can to get home and see those kids smiling when you pull up and being proud of their old man showing up. It was just such a cool thing. I guess that's really all I got for now. I do need to get back on the road, bang out these last 3 hours. I don't really have to go any further today, but if I don't, then that just makes the next 3 days longer on me, so I might as well knock some out. And tomorrow I hope to run just as hard, and then by the time that 4th day comes around on this run, I should have just a few hours on that day. So we'll see how it all works out. Anyways, been fun as always, guys. Talk to you soon.